Hey there guys, so I am here with a tutorial on how to put together the first hybrid that I ever learned how to do. Hybrids themselves could be a many week course, and maybe I'll come back and do that, but for right now I'm just going to focus on that one. A, because it's the simplest one that I know, and B, because it's the simplest one to teach that I know. So for you beginners out there, this may be the first or second hybrid that you've encountered. Things you want to look out for. Number one, notice that there's a relationship between the poi head coming out of one hand and the opposite hand. Number two, notice that the two hands are doing two very different moves. If I separate them out from each other, one of them is doing an extension circle and the other one is doing a static spin circle, right? So in the naming nomenclature of hybrids, we would call this a static versus extension hybrid, right? Now, here's how you get to the point where you can do this hybrid. First and foremost, you're going to start off just doing a normal static spin. Now, a lot of us get tempted to hold this very close to body center. And the first thing you're going to have to learn is to try and get it to happen closer to your hip. You almost want to imagine that your hand has been pinned to your hip in some respects, right? I, of course, am doing this clockwise relative to myself because that's my dominant direction of spin, but you can do it whatever direction you want. It does not actually matter. As you're doing this static spin, you're going to take your other hand, and you should have your poi completely wrapped up around it, or no poi in your hand whatsoever. And your challenge is going to be, actually I'm going to do it without a poi in my hand so you can see, try it and almost make this look like a magic trick wherein your hand is following the poi head around. Make it look like your hand is pushing the poi head as it goes around. Now, when we start off doing static spin, our hands are actually usually doing some small circles as well. As much as possible, try to minimize that. The reason being that if you do a circle with your hand as you're doing it, you'll note my other hand now doesn't have enough room to reach that point where it's furthest away from me. Really watch every step of it and make sure that your hand is tracking. Now, if you feel relatively comfortable with that, go ahead and take that other poi and wrap it up and repeat this exercise. Try and make it so that one poi head looks like it's moving the other poi head in many respects, yeah? And again, check and make sure that it is happening all the way around. Once you're comfortable with that, let out one of the coils on the poi in your other hand. And it's time to repeat this exercise. This time, make sure that it's your hand following the poi, right? And you're going to start to achieve this really lovely pattern wherein it's going to look like the two poi together make a single line. There might be a little bit of adjustment you have to make here in order to get your hand to go the right speed and keep the other poi on the way out the entire time. But then you let out the next coil. And depending upon how long your poi is, maybe you're at the end of your coils. And it's time to find that balance once again. Now, what you're probably going to find, and this is what's going to make it most uncomfortable, is that you're going to have to slow down the poi head that's doing the static spin. You're probably going to have to do it almost as slow as you possibly can and still keep it going. There's a little bit of math behind why this has to happen. Namely, this circle that I'm creating right here with my poi, the distance that my poi head is traveling in it is basically 2 times the length of the poi times pi, right? Because it's going to be diameter times pi. So therefore, I know that I'm moving around a little over 6 poi lengths as it's completing the circle. Now, the other poi, on the other hand, is moving around a circle that is 4 poi lengths in diameter because we know it is 1, 2 on this side and 1, 2 on the other side, right? Which, of course, means that it's going to be 4 poi lengths times pi, so, 12 and some change poi lengths. If you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, this poi literally has twice as far to travel as the other poi. So that means that it is traveling twice as fast in order to complete a circle at the same time. And in order to adjust, the static spin poi has to slow down a lot, and the extension poi has to speed up just a little bit. And in finding the balance between the two, you teach your hands how to do two slightly different things at the same time. And that is the root of almost all hybrids. So, I hope this was helpful to you guys. There's a little bit of math in there for you. If you'd like to see some additional hybrids demonstrated in my tutorial videos, please drop me a comment. If you have any other requests, please drop me a comment as well, because God only knows I'm enjoying doing them. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next Friday. Peace.